My name is Judd.
My name is Rich.
And this is Comic Strip AP of Sorcerer, featuring the story of Percival Lowder. And when we last saw Percival, he was calling one of his coven to the site of his hungry, bloodthirsty demon to possibly do a blood sacrifice to a coven member who he knew was a traitor, Frederick.
That's right.
His coven leader, Addison, was there to back him up. Addison initially didn't want to do it, but Percival talked him into it. And here we go. It is, I think it's the middle of the night, and there's still traffic. Like, you can still hear cars going by. It's not heavy, but it's the city that never sleeps. And there are 8-foot construction walls all around the site.
Right.
There's rebar and the foundations and just the skeleton of a building starting to go up. And on the fence there are posters that show the pictures of shining chrome and glass monstrosity that one Vanderbilt will one day be.
Yes, that I have seen in a fevery dream.
Yes, no doubt.
To me once.
I don't know who would have shown you such a thing. Addison ran into a Dwayne Reed and bought... no, Dwayne Reed doesn't do cigarettes anymore. Anyway, he bought a couple of stray cigarettes off of somebody at the subway. He doesn't... You've never seen him smoke, but he smokes and he offers you one.
That's all right.
All right. Right as Addison is finishing his last cigarette, he kind of throws it away at the side of a shed, and Frederick shows up. You see him kind of walk through the gate. You can just kind of see his silhouette, but you know it's him. It's dark, and it's not particularly well lit because it's a construction site at night.
Well, that works perfectly. Glad you could make it, Frederick.
Yeah, I mean, he's about, he's like, not getting, I don't want to get too D&D on this and pull out a hex map, but he's about 20 feet away.
Okay.
He says, so, what now?
Need to go in. There is a particular spot. You remember when we talked about buildings and the cornerstones, how they're, not only is there the cornerstone, but there are other geometric places within that source of power. So we need to secure each one of them. So, come on. And I'll start walking in, and I imagine there are got to be some gaps in the fence type thing.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way I can get in.
Yeah. I mean, you can just kind of walk in.
I'll do that.
Matter of fact, I mean, there's a security guard who kind of nods to you as you walk in and says, Mr. Lowder, we heard you might be coming tonight.
It's not at all spooky. Okay. Yeah, we're going to be doing some work. You guys just keep an eye on the perimeter and make sure that we're safe.
We know the deal. He tips his hat to you.
I'll give him a nod as well. And I will lead... Is Addison staying back, or is he coming along with...
He's coming in with you, yeah.
Okay. Now, how much of the foundation is in? Do we have a basement? Do we have an underground area?
Yeah, I think you do. Yep.
Good. I want to get him out of the sight of night, as it were, and head down a set of stairs.
Okay.
Unfinished, of course, no railing there. Very unsafe. It's almost like, the Death Star. It's like no could fall.
Right. As a matter of fact, I think a basement is all you have, right? Like, there's nothing above that.
Nice.
It's just like a huge pit in the ground. And there are skyscrapers all around it. So you're like 20 feet into the ground with high fences all around it.
Yeah, so I popped before. I laid the cornerstone with the two bodies at first. I don't imagine that would be open again, and that was concrete that was pretty heavy, but I will head that way just to take a look.
Yeah, and I think that piece of concrete is there, and it, for all intents and purposes, it looks like a modern altar.
Wow. This is the most single important place in what we have so far in one Vanderbilt, Frederick. Do you see here? Can you feel the ley lines that lead to this point? This is the nexus.
He nods, says, I can feel it.
Good. We'll take a point here. We're going to form a triangle. We're going to start 10 feet out, work our way in tighter, around this central point.
Yeah, he, Addison takes a point and he takes a point. You can tell that Frederick is super sketchy about getting close to either of you. Like, there's not a lot of trust right there. You know? Like, he's definitely worried. But when it's a situation where you can kind of, like, spread out, he's fine with it.
Good. The plan is that I was hoping to lull into a false sense of security. Start out far away, then we do some routine ritual chanting, the kind of stuff to build power, and then move tighter. And I'm hoping to lure him in, loop him in. And I know Addison's in rough shape, so I'm not really counting on him for anything physical.
I think we need a roll for that.
Okay, that sounds great. I think that makes sense to me.
And it seems like a will roll.
I like that.
Or, I don't know if it's a will roll. It might be a humanity roll. It's kind of... Nah, I'm going to keep it a will roll.
Okay.
I'm going to roll 4 dice.
All right, I've got 5 coming.
Cool.
Oh, that's a 10. That's good.
Yep. You got 1 success.
Looks like a 10, 9, 8. Yeah, so 1 success for me.
Yep. So, I mean, yeah, he's comfortable. You ease him in. If you do something, then, I mean, if with this follow-up, if there is a violent follow-up, you can take that 1 success and add it to the die pool.
Oh, you damn well bet there's a violent follow-up.
Yeah, you walk them through kind of a sorceress ritual, but it's sort of a pantomime. At what point does it become a sacrifice?
The point it comes to sacrifice is when I draw out the dagger that I brought along, and it's the kind of dagger that looks... it's like 2 blades that wind around each other like a serpent.
Okay.
And end in 2 points like a forked tongue.
Yep.
And, I take it and I show it to him, but I'm not immediately drawing it on him. I place out my own hand and I say, and now, and I will slice open part of my own palm.
Right.
With the 2 prongs and let some of the blood drip and move closer and hold it over the altar. And then I'll gesture over to Addison, to Frederick.
Yeah, Addison holds out his hand. And I think Addison has, Addison holds out his hand and he's got scars on his hand, like he's done this before.
Oh, nice. So I apply pressure. I'm not trying to cause any pain. I know how to, I'm the Lowder family knows how to cut a dude without hurting.
Totally.
And so I do that.
Yep.
And then I let him bleed onto that area, and then I look to Frederick holding the dagger, like, okay.
Yep, Frederick puts out his hand.
Cool. And then I'm going to stab him in the heart.
Awesome. Make a stamina roll.
I am not very staminous. All right, here we go. I get to take a roll forward that +1, right?
Yep. So add that. That's an extra die.
That's 3 dice that's coming through then.
Okay.
Oh, that is not good. Oh, you have defeated me, sir.
I have.
Nice. Okay.
So you go to stab him, and he grabs your arm and pushes it down onto the altar, and then reaches into his jacket pocket, and it's tangled in the pocket, but he's got a pistol.
Nice.
Okay.
Addison, help me!
Yeah. Addison freezes. like somebody who's been in a situation like this before and has seen it come out terribly and is in like total PTSD, freeze. Frederick has your wrist. He's waving what you know to be as a pistol around, but it's caught in his jacket. You hear a hammer lock back, and Addison takes a step back and kind of puts his hand to his face, like kind of in shock, but his hand is bleeding, so he just smears blood all over his face.
Oh shit!
And I think I don't want to tell you what your character does, but I think both you and Frederick are just making inhuman noises, and we'll start there for next game.
Oh,
sound good?
Nice. That sounds good.
Cool.
Hi, this is Jason from the Gauntlet Gaming community. If you enjoyed this episode of Comic Strip AP, please consider supporting the Gauntlet on Patreon. Our page can be found at patreon.com/gauntlet.